Okay, here we are. So in the first part of this video, I showed you how that I made a frame, and this is out of 18 gauge wire, and that I cut length of this is 26 gauge antique copper wire. I folded them in half, wrapped them around, made the base. I showed you how I roughed in the tree and how I kind of secured the tree to the frame. And when I secure the tree to the frame, just to get the shape and everything roughed in, make sure I'm happy, I only go around the frame one time. With the wire. And I do that with all of them. And I had left at the top, 4 or 6 wires undone until I got to here. And then I kind of played with it to see where I liked the branches, how I wanted them to lay out. I did end up using one of them to go around the bale. I kind of ran out of room up here, so I ended up going around the bale, which is fine. That just gives my bale a good start. For the most part, I go around the frame. Okay, so how to finish it off. Once I have everything in place and I'm done moving wires, and this one I actually ended up undoing this side quite a bit and redoing it. I just wasn't happy with the way it was looking. So it's a good thing I had only put the wires around one time because I ended up undoing them multiple times. Okay, so I've gone around once. Everything's done. I'm happy with the way it looks, so I'm going to finish it off. And to finish it off, I just go around the frame 2 more times. So I have a total of 3 wraps per wire to secure each wire to the frame. And I come up and over the frame, underneath back towards the outside. Nice and tight. Don't pull and wiggle too much though. This weaving wire can snap off, and you could snap it off too soon and then it won't stay. Okay, and then I get up close, my flush cutters, give it a snip, and then I take my tweezer nose pliers and that wire, I just go ahead and squeeze it down under so you can't feel it. It won't catch, won't scratch. This one doesn't look like it's down far enough. Kind of roll them under. Okay, so again, make sure it's where I want it. Nice and tight. And when you're first roughing them in, and even the first few that you're securing, you want them tight, but don't pull too hard or you'll pull your tree out of shape. That was one of the problems I had. My tree ended up off center because I got a little too tight with the with roughing it in. I pulled the wires a little too tight. So I went around 2 more times, snipped it off, and tucked that end under. And again, I don't want that to overlap. There we go. And I'm holding it steady in the front so that that wire doesn't get yanked out of place when I'm securing it. And the top, I always end up really tight on space. So it's really important to hold them in place so you get them where you want them. And up near the bale where it's rounded, the wires tend to want to creep up the bale. See? And if that's not where you want it on the front, you need to pull her back down. I think I got stuck on another wire here. Oh, I did. I had to go under this guy. Right, so what happened here is I brought this one up around the bail, and as I was securing this one, it tried to go over top of it, so it was getting stuck. I just had to slide that up a little bit, get it out of the way. I'll push it back down. So again, around 2 more times, give it a snip, give it a tuck, just go around and check them all. They're all good. I'm going to push this one back down. And let's look at the bail. For this one, I really want the tree and the stone to be the focus. So I'm actually not going to put a fancy weaved, like you can separate the wires and do a figure of 8 bail. You can leave it and just, do like a 2-wire bail. For this one, I think I'm just going to grab some more of the weaving wire, and I'm just going to wrap around and make just a simple, like this one, so that the tree is the focus. So you just grab that wire. All right, so I have a hunk of the weaving wire, and I'm going to just hold that down, and I'm going to put it on top of where I started, and then I will fix that afterwards, after I'm done wrapping. Okay, so you can go around and around, pushing it down, keeping it tight, or if you've mastered let me cut it off the spool. If you've mastered being able to twist it and keep it in place, you can do that. Sometimes I can do this, and sometimes I give up and I go back to just pushing it, wrapping it and pushing it one at a time. So every so often though, I'm going to stop. I'm going to come in with my needle nose pliers. I'm going to make sure that the wires are nice and tight and just kind of crimp that down on there so it's nice and flat. And that'll help keep the bail wires, because the bail wires are going to want to rotate when you do this. So just pushing that down with my thumbnail. And again, the bail is completely up to you. Sometimes I only do the wrap halfway and then leave the wires exposed in the back. It all depends what kind of look you're going for. So for this one, I actually want most of the wire covered. And I have, my bail wires are definitely longer than I need them. And they're getting out there. Okay, and it's twisting. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to pick up my pliers. I'm going to come back in here. and just crimp down that weaving wire. Make sure everything's nice and tight. And go back to it. And the wires are twisting, but it's okay because when you crimp them down, they'll straighten back out. The bail wires will straighten back out. This process of twisting a wire around it, I am twisting the bail wires, but it's okay. They will come back out straight. Had a little bit of an overlap there, so I stopped and went back. I hope I haven't been off the camera too much. So just straighten those wires back out again. Just crimp, 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 crimp. Push them back down. And you can use half round wire for this. You can use a little bit thicker gauge weaving wire. Again, you can weave a bail. It's completely up to you. Like I said, I want my tree and my stone to be the focus, so I chose not to do a big fancy bail. I mean, it would be pretty, but I think it would take away from this design. I have done trees with fancy bails, but I've also done them where I don't wrap the bail at all. I just fold the wire over. Okay, this actually ended on the wrong side. So you want this to end in the back. So I'm going to lift that up. Cut it so it goes about halfway across. And then fold it back in. And then just tamp everything down. And then I'm going to fix where I started. So I'm going to cut that tail that I was just using to hold on to it so it didn't just keep spinning around and around. And then, oh, cut, it's still too long. Lift him up. There we go. I need a new pair of flush cutters. Mine aren't cutting. There we go. And that's all nice and flat. Okay, you can use a pair of bail making pliers. You can use a pair of round nose pliers. You can use your finger, a pen, a pencil. Whatever you want to use to round your bail. I'm just going to use my finger. I like my bail too. So I pushed it forward, rounded it back over my finger. And voila, I'm done. Okay, but I'm not done because that's not going to stay put like that. Let's see if it's, nope, it's not straight. I thought, there we go. Nice and straight. So I like to, sorry about that. I like to grab these ends and just roll them in. I have a nice little empty spot there. And this one, I'm actually going to roll in. Now, I know they're not even, but this is how I'm going to secure this down. So I rolled this one up to this spot in the frame where I don't have any wires coming around, because I'm going to just take some weaving wire and secure it there. And then this one I left longer because here's where my empty spot is. There's no weaving wire down here. So I'm going to wrap that around and secure them. And then we're done. We have finished. Just have a little loop. I can't get it to bend up that way, so I'll go this way. This way around. I'm just going to take it around here several times to secure that bale nice and tight so it can't come apart. That's 3. I think I'm going to give it 4 or 5 because I've got lots of room on that frame. Okay, so I think I went around 5 times. I'm going to snip this one off and I'm going to tuck it the same way I was when I finished off the branches, the wires for the branches. So I'm going to just give this a snip. And we're going to roll that down inside. It's a little long. There we go. That tucked up under there so it can't get away. And this one, I'm just going to trim it short inside there so it doesn't catch on anything. Okay, I'm going to adjust this loop a little bit so it fits up here better. There. So I've got it up here against the bare, you know, when I say bare or empty, this is just where I don't have any wire from the branches coming around this, yeah, the branches coming around. So I'm going to use that spot right there. And I need to grab my weaving wire, and I think I'm going to go from inside out. It's easier to get through. All right, so holding on to the one end and going around. Again, I'm going to try to go around 5 times. Make sure it's nice and secure. So 1. See if I have enough wire. 2. I might have to get the pliers out. My fingers are getting in the way. 3. 4. I'm just going to use my pliers to guide the last one because I can't My fingers are too big. I do much better with my fingers than I do with pliers, but got it. All right, and then just bring it up and over. Get in there with the flush cutters, clip it, roll it down. Get up inside there and get this one out. There we go. I definitely need new flush cutters. I've worn mine out. And there we have it. It is complete. Hopefully I wasn't too far off camera. It looks like my camera kind of moved a little bit. I'll go back and watch it. I probably will do a couple more trees on camera. I have a lot of tree orders, so yeah, stay tuned. Thanks for watching.